Configure IPv4 and IPv6 static and default routes. The addressing table for Edge router ISP1, ISP2, Edge router ISP1, ISP2, PCA, PCB, customer server, PCA, PCB, and customer server. Configure IPv4 static and floating default routes. The packet tracer network requires static routes to provide internet access to the internal LAN users through the ISPs. The ISP routers require static routes to reach the internal LANs. Okay, ISP1, ISP2 needs static routes to reach the internal LANs. You will configure an IPv4 static default route and floating default route to add redundancy to the network. Configure an IPv4 static default route on Edge router. So access Edge router and configure directly connected IPv4 default static route. Okay, enter, enable, configure terminal. Default static route is IP route quad 0 and directly connected means to use the local interface. Okay, and this primary default route should be through router ISP1. Okay, through ISP1. So the local interface pointing ISP1 is serial 000. Serial 000. Enter. Don't worry about this message. Configure an IPv4 floating static default route. On Edge router, configure directly connected IPv4 floating default static route. Okay. Just repeat the command IP route and quad 0. And this default route should be through router ISP2. Okay, through router ISP2 using this link, and it should have an administrative distance of 5. Okay, it's directly connected through router ISP2. Okay, so use the local interface, and is this serial 001 that is connected to ISP2. Serial 001 space and administrative distance of 5. Okay, 5. So it's the floating static default route. Enter. Configure IPv6 static and floating static default routes. You will configure IPv6 static default route and floating static default routes for IPv6. Configure IPv6 static default route. On Edge router, configure a NetHub static default route. Okay, the static default route for IPv6. IPv6 route. This is the default static route and NetHub. And this primary default route should be through router ISP1. Okay, the NetHub for Edge server, and this is ISP1. So use the NetHub IP address. And you need the IPv6 address of serial 000 on ISP1. Okay, so that means NetHub. Use the NetHub IP address of ISP1 with serial 000 IPv6 address. Okay, on ISP1 serial 000 2001 db8 A1:1 2001 db8 A1:1 and very good. Enter. Configure IPv6 floating static default route. Also on Edge router, configure a NetHub IPv6 floating default static route. The route should be via router ISP2 and administrative distance of 5. Okay, so repeat. This is the IPv6 default static route. Okay. But should be through ISP2. And the NetHub IP address on Edge router is the IPv6 address of serial 001 on ISP2. And serial 001 on ISP2 is 2001 db8a2:1. 2001 db8a2:1. Okay. 2001 db8a2:1. Okay. And don't forget the administrative distance of 5. Okay, for redundancy, enter. Very good. Configure IPv4 static floating static routes to the internal LANs. You will configure static and floating static routes from the ISP routers to the internal LANs. Okay, configure IPv4 static routes to the internal LANs. On ISP1, configure. Okay, go to ISP1 here. Double click. Then enter enable configure terminal. Okay, you are on ISP1. NetHub IPv4 static route. Okay, a static route to the LAN 1. Okay, this is LAN 1. And IPv4 network is this 192.168.10.16.28. Okay, so this IP route 192.168.10.16. Okay, 10.16 and 28. 28 subnet mask is 255, 255, 255, 240. Okay, very good. And use NetHub IPv4 static route. So use the NetHub IP address and through Edge router. Okay, through Edge router. This is Edge router. So for ISP1, the NetHub IP address is the IPv4 address of serial 00 on Edge router. Okay, on Edge router, serial 000 10.10.10.2. Okay, this interface serial 000, that is the NetHub IP address for ISP1. Okay, 10.10.10.2. Okay, very nice. Enter. Also on ISP1, configure a NetHub IPv4 static route to the LAN 2 network through the Edge router. Okay. Also on ISP1, but for LAN 2. And LAN 2 is 192.168.11.32.27. 192.168.11.32.27. Okay. IP route 192.168.11.32.27 is 255, 255, 255, 224. Okay, 11.32.27. 11.32.27. NetHub IPv4, but through Edge router. So it's the same NetHub for ISP1. The NetHub is IP address of serial 00 on Edge router. So it's the same 10.10.10.2. 10.10.10.2. Okay. Is the IPv4 address of serial 00 10.10.10.2. Very nice. Enter. Configure IPv4 floating static routes to the internal LANs. On ISP1, configure a directly connected floating static route to LAN 1 through ISP2 router. Okay, this for LAN 1. And remember, LAN 1 is 192.168.10.16.28. Okay, IP route 192.168.10.16.28 is 240 and directly connected. So use the local interface. Okay, directly connected with through ISP2 router. Okay, you are on ISP1 and use the local interface, gigabit 00 through ISP2 to reach LAN 1. So the path will be from ISP1, ISP2, edge router, and LAN 1. Okay, so then local interface is gigabit 00 on ISP1, the local interface gigabit 00, and administrative distance of 5. Okay, 5. Floating static route. Enter. On ISP1, configure directly connected floating static route to LAN 2 through ISP2 router. Use administrative distance of 5. Okay, this is LAN 2, 192.168.11.32. Okay, IP route 192.168.11.32. And this is 27 subnet mask 255, 255, 255, 224. Directly connected through ISP2 router. Okay, use the local interface gigabit 00 through ISP2. So the path will be ISP1, ISP2, edge router, and LAN 2. Okay, go to ISP1. The local interface is gigabit 00. This gigabit 00 and administrative distance of 5. Enter. Configure IPv6 static and floating static routes to the internal LANs. Configure IPv6 static routes to the internal LANs. On ISP1, configure NetHub IPv6 static route to LAN 1. Okay, LAN 1 is this 2001DB8.110.64. Okay, go to ISP1, IPv6 route 2001 DB8 and 110 column prefix 64. NetHub IPv6 static and through edge router. Okay, ISP1, the path is ISP1, edge router, and LAN 1 using IPv6. So you need the NetHub IPv6 and use the NetHub is IPv6 address of serial 000. With on edge router, serial 000 IPv6 address 2001 DB8 A1 colon 2. Okay, 2001 DB8 A1 colon 2. Okay, and that's it. Enter. Also on ISP1, configure a NetHub IPv6 static route to the LAN 2 network through edge router. Now the destination is LAN 2 2001 DB8 111.64. Okay, IPv6 route 2001 DB8 111 colon prefix 64. NetHub IPv6 static route through edge router. Okay, ISP1, the NetHub it's edge router, so you need the serial 00, the IPv6 of serial 00 on edge router is the same. Okay, the same as the previous 2001 DB8 A1 colon 2. Okay, enter. Configure IPv6 floating static route to the internal LANs. On ISP1, configure NetHub IPv6 floating static route to LAN 1 through ISP2 router. The administrative distance is 5. Okay, the destination is LAN 1. Using IPv6, okay, you are on ISP 1. Okay, the destination is LAN 1 2001 db8 110. Okay, repeat the previous is this IPv6 route 2001 db8 110 prefix 64. Next hop IPv6 floating static route through ISP2 router. Okay, so the path will be ISP1, ISP2, Edge router, and LAN 1. So the next hop for ISP1 is ISP2. And use the next hop IP address. And next hop IP address for ISP1 is gigabit 00. You need the IPv6 address of gigabit 00 interface on ISP2. And gigabit 00 interface on ISP2 is 2001 db8 F2. 2001 db8 F column 2, and use administrative distance of 5. And also on ISP1, let's hop IPv6 floating a static route to LAN 2 through the ISP2 router. Administrative distance of 5. Okay, now the destination is LAN 2 2001 db8 1 11. Okay, repeat the previous is IPv6 route 2001 db8 1 11. And through ISP2 router, so next hop is ISP2, next hop IPv6. So you need for ISP1, the next hop is the gigabit 00 IPv6 address on ISP2. So is this okay? The same as the previous static route 2001 db8 F column 2. Administrative distance of 5. Enter. If your configuration has been completed correctly, you should be able to ping the customer server from hosts on LAN 1 and LAN 2. In addition, if the primary route link is down, connectivity between the LAN host and the web server should still exist. Okay, go to PCA, command prompt, ping customer server is 198.0.0.10. Success using IPv6 2001 db8 F column 10. Success. Okay, very nice. And also from PCB. Okay, PCB is placed on LAN 2. Command prompt, ping the customer server 198.0.0.10. Success. And using IPv6 2001 db8 F column 10. Success. Very good. And finally, if the primary route link is down, connectivity between LAN host and web server should exist. And now you can shut down this interface serial 00 on Edge router or shut down serial 00 on ISP1. I will shut down on ISP1. Okay, you are on ISP1. Interface serial 000 shut down. Okay, now is indicators in red is shut down. This link is down. But anyway, go to PCA and ping customer server with IPv4. Success, repeat. And using IPv6, success. And go to PCB, Go to PCB, ping customer server using IPv4. Success. Using IPv6. Success. Okay. Now re-establish serial 00 on ISP1. Okay. Serial 000 no shutdown. Very nice. And go here, configure host routes. Users on the corporate network frequently access a server that is owned by an important customer. This is part of the activity. You will configure static host routes to the server. One route will be floating a static route to support the redundant ISP connections. Configure IPv4 host routes on Edge router. Configure an IPv4 directly connected host route to the customer server. Okay, go to Edge router. Here, Edge router. Enter, enable, configure terminal. IPv4 directly connected host route to the customer server. Okay. This is customer server. This is a host. This is not a network. So you need to add the route, but the destination is the host IP address. Okay, no network address, host address. Okay, IP route 198.0.0.10. The subnet mask for host is 255, 255, 255, 255. Okay, only this host. And directly connected. So use the local interface. Okay, the primary link is from Edge router to ISP1. This is the primary link. So the local interface on this primary link is serial 000. Serial 000. Enter. And now on Edge router, configure IPv4 directly connected floating host route to the customer server using administrative distance of 5. Okay, go to Edge router again and repeat the previous command, but the destination is the same. The host address of customer server, the subnet mask 32 or 255, 255, 255, 255. The floating static route should be configured through the ISP2. Okay, this secondary link. So use the directly connected means use the local interface that is serial 001 on Edge router. Okay, serial 001 and administrative distance of 5, space 5. Enter. Finally, configure IPv6 host routes. Also on Edge router, IPv6 nets hop host route to the customer server through the ISP1 router. Okay, the same configuration with using IPv6. So the destination is the IPv6 host address of customer server. IPv6 route 2001 db8 f:10, and the prefix is 128 because it's only this host. Okay, the primary link is this, the connection between Edge router and ISP1. Use the nets hop. Okay, nets hop is the IPv6 address of serial 000 on ISP1, and the IPv6 address of serial 00 on ISP1 is 2001 db8 a1:1. Okay, 2001 db8 a1:1. Okay, 2001 db8 a1:1. Enter. And now on Edge router, IPv6 directly connected floating host route to the customer server through ISP2 router. Use administrative distance of 5. Okay. Now the Destination is customer server, so it's the same destination. Host route, okay, is the same. This IPv6 route 2001/DB8FF:10 128. The host address of the server, but use directly connected floating host. Okay, so the secondary link is this for the floating static route, floating host route, and the local interface for this, okay, so is directly connected. Use the local interface is this serial 001 on edge router, okay, space serial 001 on edge router. Use administrative distance of 5, okay, 5. Then enter. But this will not work. But when you configure an IPv6 static route and you will use the local interface, the static route will not work. Okay, IPv6 will use the NetHub IPv6 address. So this is incorrect. Directly connected. This is incorrect. And also this local interface on edge router is incorrect. So remove this, repeat the previous command and add no space, okay, to remove. And it should be NetHub, okay. Repeat the previous static route, IPv6 route, the IPv6 host address of customer server, and here should be NetHub. And the NetHub on this link, the NetHub is serial 001 IPv6 address, okay. The path is edge router, ISP2, and customer server. So the NetHub for edge router is serial 001 on ISP2. Okay. On ISP2, serial 001, 2001/DB8A2:1. 2001/DB8A2:1. And don't forget administrative distance of 5. Administrative distance of 5. Enter. Very nice. Completion 100%. Thank you very much.